here's 3 things you can practice. The takeaway from today is one of them. Is the guy's talking and you ask him a question, he says something. Before you go into too much information, you then always acknowledge him from the point of view of, that makes sense. That's one magic phrase. You'll see a guy go, oh yeah, what did I say? That makes sense. Another one is, oh, good idea. Oh, good idea. And you got to put a little bit of that femininity in it, and which men can do for each other. Men are like starving for appreciation. Men are competing with other men all the time. Our whole lives is pecking order, competition, getting ahead. And, if I open the door for another guy, he walks in and gets the job. If I pass the ball to him, he gets the touchdown, he gets the glory. If I compliment him, then, somebody says, who did this? Well, my partner, Bob, did this. And Bob's going to go, yep, I worked really hard to accomplish this goal. And I just gave away the possibility of me getting the advance or the raise or the recognition or the opportunity. Whereas women don't understand this, because women have a code. It's all different perspectives. Women have a code. If I'm a woman, I say, oh, Mary did this. She did such an amazing job. She stayed up late and she did this and she handled this. And we could have never done it without her. Mary has to follow the rules, and the rules are, but Jane, you did this and this and this, and you did this and this and this. And that's because women will bounce back and forth, but because inclusiveness is an estrogen quality. And estrogen is what lowers women's stress. So women have all kinds of values around inclusiveness, but men, estrogen doesn't lower our stress. It can actually raise our stress if it's too much. See, it's all interesting. No hormone is bad for you. It's just how much, when, and so forth. So estrogen's a good thing for men. If their testosterone's too high, boom, it's just like, oh, I get to relax. I get to enjoy feeling love. When you feel love, your estrogen levels are going up and your oxytocin is being produced. If your testosterone is too high, it kind of lowers it down. And that's why what happens for women is, all these little expressions of affection, they're the big oxytocin stimulators that help lower stress for women, because they lower their testosterone and their estrogen can go up higher to its normal level to restore normal estrogen production. Now, it's interesting. You can measure women's estrogen levels today, and they could be too high. And I'm over here saying that estrogen lowers stress for women. And that's because we have something called artificial estrogen, which is in all the pesticides, all the GMOs, all the plastics. They have these ingredients in them, chemicals in them, that when they get into your body, these are man-made chemicals, that the body recognizes and thinks it's estrogen. So suddenly now you've got estrogen being, the brain going, oh, I've got plenty of estrogen. So then the body stops making its own estrogen. And it's being in that mode of making estrogen that a woman gets this stress reduction. Otherwise, she doesn't feel like she has to do those things to make estrogen. It's a little bit complicated understanding, but the body thinks I've got plenty of estrogen, then it stops motivating her to do the things that would make the estrogen. So woman's body knows that I need estrogen to feel good. Okay, what causes me to make estrogen? Loving people, appreciating people, opening my heart to people, being emotional, all these things that I need to go there to feel that. Well, suddenly, if you've got an outside source of estrogen, then you no longer feel motivated because you've already got it. It'd be like, if I'm hungry for food and I'm looking for food, but then I get food, I'm satisfied for a while. I get the benefit of food, but I lose the motivation to get food. And all of our social behavior is based upon, on a biological level, certain motivations that will make us feel good. So women are not naturally motivated to be more loving, for example. That's what's happened to a lot of women who are in their 40s, is they spend a lot of time in the world of testosterone, and that lowered their estrogen levels, and testosterone raises stress for women. And they're being exposed to all of these xenoestrogens, there's called. And so they haven't felt in their younger years a stronger motivation to be in relationship. And when they get in relationships with guys, it's kind of like, it doesn't do it for me. I'm not really that involved with him. That's one side of it. Then there's the other side of it where you can get very needy because you've been suppressing your feminine. So either sides there's all this hormonal imbalance. Men have hormonal imbalance too. These xenoestrogens are keeping men's testosterone levels low. So we are hungry for messages that say we're a success, more so than in previous generations. So this is where, sometimes women hear what I say and they say, oh gosh, just sounds like men are on a big ego trip. I need to support their ego. And just hold this in balance. We're different. Men need more testosterone, so you acknowledge what they do, which often looks like ego, and that is ego. But women have ego. It just doesn't look that way because women are not so much like, look at what I do. It's look at who I am, how I feel, what I need. She wants hugs, she wants affection, she wants romance, she wants dates. Guys that don't understand women are thinking, God, women are so needy. So men think the women are needy. Women think men are egotistical. No, women are more aware of their needs. That's a quality of estrogen. And men are more aware of what they want, and that's a quality of testosterone. And what we want is to be accomplished, to achieve, to make a difference, and that's called success if we simplify it. So these three little takeaways: good idea. Another one is that makes sense. Another one is you're right. You nod your head, you're right. That's true. That's true. And then give a point of view from your perspective. And if you disagree with him, you can always say, well, that makes sense. I also have a different point of view, and you say it. You don't have to submit your authenticity to a man, but you don't dump anything on him. And dump is what I mean by complain to him. This is a big, now we're in the stage of you're in a relationship and then things aren't working the way you want every day. And so women have a tendency to sort of say everything they feel about a guy. And we don't want to hear negativity. You don't want to hear negativity. Nobody wants to hear negativity. So I'm not telling women, gee, you can't tell your feelings and he can or something like that. I'm just saying that particularly in a relationship, it's like you're on a job interview. In a job interview, they always say, what's your biggest weakness? And so what do you say? It's a standard routine. I think my biggest weakness is I give too much. I work too hard. I don't get enough rest at home.
Right.
That's the biggest weakness. You don't say, I'm lazy. I don't get things done. I get too angry at people. No, you don't do that. Okay, come on now. So, and women, you're the masters of makeup. I mean, you're always making yourself look good, look good, look good. Then you get on a date with a guy, not all of you, but some of you, and you just start blasting him. You're like, well, I don't think you ought to do this. And what do you think about that? Well, I disagree with that. And, there's just this huge sort of, I'll say what I think and how I feel. That's not what a relationship is about. A relationship is about being authentically loving. It's being authentic, but also working at having tact. How do I communicate what's going on inside of me in a way where it can be heard? Because whenever you communicate anything inside of you and somebody can hear it, you're going to feel greater intimacy. That's what we're all wanting, is to feel connection. But if you communicate what's inside of you in a way where someone can't hear it, you're not going to experience that intimacy. It's like trying to walk through a wall. You're not going to make through it.